If you're really struggling with your website right now, if it's not doing what you want it to do, it's not bringing in your clients, your ideal people, then you're in absolutely the right place. Because today I've got Tom Perkins, who's going to be talking all about how you can change that. So I'm just going to hand straight over to you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Yeah, nice to see everyone. So yeah, I've got three really good tips here, all around habits around websites and SEO. The I think a lot of people look for hacks when it comes to websites and SEO. And the bad news is there isn't really any. It needs to be consistent, continuous action, and that doesn't have to mean that you're spending every day of your working week working on your website. But it does mean if you can do something, a little something every week or every month, then by the end of the year, your website will be transformed. The amount of traffic and inquiries that it generates will be transformed. Um, so, small, simple, consistent actions compound. As you well know, Julie, they compound together, and you can make a real difference. So let's jump into the tips. The first one is that a website is never finished. So it's a lot of people think, right, I'll do my website, and then in 5 years I'll revisit it, and in that time I'll do nothing to it. And the trouble is, all that happens is you end up with this kind of, I call it like a website shame cycle. So at the beginning, people go, look, I've got this new website. It's amazing. And then gradually it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, more and more out of date, more and more not reflecting what you now do or the marketplace. To the point where business owners get to a point where they go, actually, I'm quite embarrassed about this website. I'm not even going to tell anyone about it. And the thing you can do to improve that is just, once a month, if you can do it once a week, just put aside half an hour to have a look at your website and just improve one small thing. Every time you go on there, just improve one small thing. So that could be that you look at, service pages are so important for all of us. They are like they're people.
Tom, can I
Yeah,
just ask, what is a service page for those of us that are a bit
cool.
technophobic?
Good question. So a service page, basically, if you're an accountant, you'll probably have service pages for tax returns, company tax returns, personal tax returns, VAT returns, tax advice, tax planning, things like that. So they're your real money pages. They're the pages that talk about the actual services that you provide. And so many people think their homepage is the most important page on the site. And the reality is, if your website is working as it should be, people aren't, hopefully, they're not going to find your homepage because they'll be searching for, financial planning, Hampshire, whatever it is. If they do that, they will find your service page. So that page needs to be super strong. It needs to make a really great first impression and give people all the info they need. So, once a month, once a week, if you can just put aside a little bit of time just look at one of your key service pages, just take a fresh look at it and say, is this as good as it can be? If someone doesn't know me at all, is this as good as it can be? And then make a small change there. It could be improving a headline. It could be adding a recent testimonial that you received from a client. Just a little something. And if you can do that every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever it may be, then that over time that will make a massive difference. The second tip that I've got is around creating content that answers real questions. So a lot of people struggle with what to write about. Everyone bangs on all the time, oh, you need to do blog posts, you need to do blog posts. Well, yes, but what do you write about? So if you can create content that answers real questions, and it could be questions that you get asked, it could be questions, you can go online, if you go onto Google and type in, you know, life coaching advice or habit coaching advice. If you scroll down the page, you'll see a section that Google puts in called People Also Asked. And there will be like 3 to 5 questions in there, which are common questions that people ask Google. So they're going to be perfect things for you to write about.
Well, I never knew that.
There you go. The other thing, if you they've got a little toggle arrow to expand them and contract them. If you expand one and contract it again, Google adds like three more. And if you do it again, Google adds another three more. So if you want to see more questions, you can just do that a few times and you'll have 15, 20 questions all around whatever you typed in the search box. So that's a great source of things to write about.
Tom, this is such an eye opener. What can I say?
From there, you can then write your blog post and just pretend you're talking to a customer. Write with a person in mind and just answer that question as you would if you were talking to a customer or a potential customer. Um, one big tip there is to make sure that your blog post gets indexed. And I'll explain what indexing is. I've seen so many people, they put their heart and soul into writing blog posts. They write brilliant blog posts. They publish them on the website and they think, right, my work is done. And then actually, if you look behind the scenes, Google hasn't indexed that blog post. And what that means is Google hasn't added that to its database of sites that it will present to people searching on the platform, which means if someone searches, someone could be searching for exactly what that blog post is about, but it stands no chance of being presented because it's not been indexed. So to get around that, there's a free tool called Google Search Console. Within there, you can see your indexing, what pages have been indexed and which pages haven't. And there's a search box. So all you need to do is you get the address of your new blog post that you put on your website, give it a week or so, put it into the search box, hit go, and it will tell you this has been indexed with a green tick, or no, this has not been indexed. And if it hasn't been indexed, there's a little button and you can say, please index this. And then it has a chance of coming up in search results.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Do you index it by going on Google Search Console and clicking on sitemap?
If it's in the sitemap, it will stand a better chance of being indexed. Absolutely, but it's not guaranteed that it will be picked up or indexed. Sometimes Google will know about a blog post, but for some reason it's chosen not to index it for who knows why. But if that's the case, you can just go on and click index. So if you put your heart and soul into writing blog posts, just make sure they stand a chance of being presented on Google. Um, and then once you've done that blog post, there's some great ways that you can kind of leverage the impact that that blog post has. So obviously you want to publish it on your website. You can also publish it as a post on something like a LinkedIn newsletter. If you want to start a LinkedIn newsletter, you can put native posts on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn prefers those because it wants to keep people on its platform. You can also add them to your Google business profile. So on your Google business profile, your business listing on Google, there's an updates section. So every time you publish a new blog post, you could go and add a snippet of that to the updates section with a link. And again, Google loves that because you're helping its own platform, but it obviously links through to your website. So that can work really well and get more from your blog posts. The third one, is in a lot of ways a really simple one, but so many people forget to do it, and that's asking for reviews, particularly Google reviews. I've seen cases where clients have done nothing on their website, they've done nothing on their SEO, their search engine optimization, but they've had a steady stream of five-star reviews on their Google business listing. And these are different things to their website. This is their business listing on Google. This is not their website, but Google knows they are both connected to the same business. And just through getting those reviews, their website rankings have gone up. They've gone higher up in the Google search results just because it sees that that business is doing well. People love what it's doing and it's getting good feedback.
Good
So, of
point. Can I just ask you a
course
question
you
about
can.
that?
Yeah.
So what star, does it have to be 5 star or can it be a 4 star or four? What is it that people are interested in? Is it that actually below four people aren't really interested?
Yeah, the higher the better. Obviously, a five-star review is the best. But there is studies that if someone sees a business with a 5.0 rating, like all 5 stars, it's less trustworthy than a
Yeah.
4.9. So one or two bad reviews or 4 star or 3 star reviews isn't the end of the world. But the more you can do to encourage those reviews, a steady stream of reviews. So not just in January, once a year, send a message to all your past customers and ask them for reviews. It would be much better to diarize some time every 2 weeks, every month, and say, right, I'm going to contact 10 of my past customers or 5 of my past customers, send them an email and ask them if they wouldn't mind giving a review. Because if Google can see a steady stream of positive reviews, that's going to bring a much bigger benefit than just one push once a year.
Brilliant. And with the reviews, if someone were to write a review that isn't a great review,
Mm.
I guess it's really important to respond to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is 100%. Yeah. So there's people do get negative reviews and sometimes those reviews are unfounded. Sometimes it's just a bad situation that got out of control and someone ended up with a bad experience. So there's two things you can do. One, you're absolutely right. You can respond to that. so many people I see don't respond, and that's the worst thing you can do. You need to respond. You need to show you care and hopefully be helpful and suggest that they reach out and have a conversation and try and fix it and all those things. The other thing you can do is just try and outweigh it with positive reviews. If you've only got six Google reviews on your Google business listing and you get a 1 star, it's going to drop your average rating massively. But if you've got 55 star reviews and you get one star, it's not going to make much difference. And if someone looks at the big picture, they will quite clearly see actually this isn't a regular thing. This is a one-off. So yeah, that's all you can do. But if you can diarize, you can Google gives you a link and a QR code where people can either click the link or scan the QR code, and it brings them straight to a form where they can leave you a review. So it's super easy. So you can put that on, you can put that on your invoice, for example. You could put it on your email footer. If you have customers in your business, you could get some little business cards printed that say, please leave us a review. Here's a QR code, scan it, and off you go. So that can really help. So just to sum up, I think that the most successful small business websites, aren't the most expensive necessarily. They're not the cleverest, but they are the most consistent. They're the ones that people chip away at regularly. They make a habit of improving that website bit by bit by bit, and overall, the end results will be far transformed from where they started.
So useful, Tom. And I love the fact you're talking about simple because as we know, if something is simple, you're much more likely to do it consistently. And that is what changes anything,
Mm,
consistency, isn't it? So
absolutely.
obviously I'm going to put all your links below in the
Thank you.
description. But is there something that you want to tell people watching that you do right now?
Yeah, so I do offer free website and SEO reviews. So if any business owners are struggling with their website or their SEO, please feel free to reach out. I'll happily put together a free website and SEO review with some good actionable tips that people can put in place straight away.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that
You're welcome.
wealth of knowledge and expertise. And thank you, everyone else, for watching and listening. If you have found this useful, please, please share it with someone else and do leave a comment. Thank you.